Good morning everyone, welcome to Big OGGIE World. Welcome to Big O back in the kitchen. Today Kelly is out with the children for the day, so I am home alone. Never let me home alone in the kitchen, come on. But I thought I would actually, I'd actually be a good husband for once. Oh, glasses seem that might be hot in here. I'm going to produce a 2-course meal today. So it's going to be in 2 parts. So this is obviously the first video, second video will go out later this week. I'm going to make a fantastic casserole that I found on BBC Good Food website. It's a beef and balsamic vinegar stew, best to call it. And we're going to do it with some lovely mash and swede and some vegetables that Kelly will be bringing back later from the supermarket when she comes back with the kids. But I'll do the stew for you. And we're also going to do an apple crumble tart. I know, it's autumn. Managed to get some more apples off our tree. It's the first year our apple tree is fruited. It's only been up there a couple of years. It's doing fantastic, especially with the conditions of the weather we get here. So a couple of apples off the tree and a Bramley apple, we will create, you and I, an apple crumble tart. Let me get sorted and we'll start with the tart. Okay everybody, we're back. I have weighed and dealt with all my ingredients that I need to do, and in the background here you'll see the stew stuff that we'll be doing later. But for now we're going to do the apple crumble cake. Lovely simple recipe this, you'll really like it. These are our apples from our tree. These are Red Windsor apples, very old traditional kind of apple. Not sure how they're going to go in the cake, but it's our first fruiting, so we're going to find out. So we'll need 300 grams of apples a little bit later. Going to add a Bramley or some Bramley into it as well, just to kind of oomph that flavour. These should keep their shape a little bit. They should go down to just pap. So we'll put those to one side and we'll peel and core and slice those when we need them at the end. So we're going to make the batter today. We're preheating the oven. The oven is preheated to 160 degrees fan, 180 non-fan gas mark 4. Glad I could read that well. Now, all the ingredients will be listed below, and obviously you'll see a little picture now. So I'm not going to give you all the measurements exactly, but let's crack on. We need a small whisk for all this. We're using a hand whisk today, just for speed. Okay, I've just had to close the window because we're on the flight path to the Isles of Scilly today. 110 grams of butter. We're using unsalted today, but each your own. 150 grams of soft light brown sugar. So we're going to use a little hand whisk today. It's going to soften this butter up, add the sugar, blitz that all together, and then we're going to add 2 eggs, one at a time. Bear with. So that's your butter all softened. Throw the sugar in. Give that another mix up. Going to push this around a little bit just to get it all into the middle. Make sure it's all incorporated properly. Okay, so there we go. Now it's going to add the eggs in one at a time. Do them one at a time so they don't curdle. If they start curdling, throw a tiny bit of flour in, just a spoonful, and beat the hell out of it, okay? Number 1. Number 2. Okay, just going to scrape down the sides, make sure it's all mixed up properly. It's looking good right now. It's looking like a light batter. There we go. So we're just going to mix up some dry ingredients. That's lovely. Let's mix up some dry ingredients. Okay, so in this little bowl here we've got the dry ingredients, which is basically 210 grams of plain flour. To that we're going to add a teaspoon of baking powder. A level spoon. We're also going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon, because apples and cinnamon go really well together. Get that off that way. Been told you can also use a little bit of ground cardamom if you wish, but don't know if my kids like cardamom, so we're going to leave that out. Okay. That's an optional. So, put these to one side. Covered in cinnamon, John. Now, we're going to bring our bowl back. Oh, smell of cinnamon's amazing. Christmas all over again. And we're going to add everything from the dry. That's the flour, the cinnamon, the baking powder, oh, and a pinch of salt. Let's throw in there. Hope that counts everything. There we go. Going to sieve the rest into our wet. Okay, so that's our dry ingredients in now. We're just going to mix this through. Just going to fold it all nice and gently until it's all incorporated. I'm currently using a little spatula, but I may go to a spoon in a second. Don't need to beat it again with a heavy whisk or anything. This is all nice and light now. Be a minute or so. Okay, so there we go. That's all done, mixed together. Some milk. Whatever milk you've got going around, really. Yes, it will make a mess, but that's fine too. Take your time. You're going to be creating a batter now. So I'm going to quickly mix this up. I'm going to wipe down the sides and myself. Thank you to the milk splashes. And then we're going to cut some apples up. 300 grams of apples. Okay. If you're going to do them beforehand, put them in some water with a squeeze of lemon juice. Okay, so I have now peeled and cored 300 grams of apples. See how white our apples are compared to brown, which is already going brown quite quickly. So that goes in there. Take off the scraper. We'll use a spoon for this because it's now getting quite heavy with all the apples in. I'm going to mix it up. You just want to incorporate everything, make sure that everything is coated. All the apples have a bit of mixture on them. What you thought wasn't a lot of mixture suddenly becomes an awful lot more with all the apples. Okay, so that's all lovely and mixed together. Needs to be done, John, well done. There we go. Spoon all that into your tin. Again, it's a batter, so you'll probably need a spatula or something to get all of it out. Get all the mixture out because it's all important. And there you go. Smooth down, push into the sides, okay? Now, that's your main cake, but this is the crumble cake. So we're going to add a little bit of crumble topping to it. You can use a food processor for this if you want, but ours is massive and I can't bother to clean up today. I've got enough cleaning up to do, so we're going to do it by hand. So it's 50 grams of butter, 50 grams of, we've got golden castor sugar, 100 grams of flour. Put it all together, crumb it up in your hands, just keep working with your fingers until you get kind of little crummy lumps. Then we'll sprinkle that all over the top. Keep working that butter through all the ingredients. If you're good at this, you should end up with clean palms and floury fingertips. But one of those things you learn in school, one of the things I learned at home economics, one of the first things you ever did in school when you did cooking, apart from open sandwiches on the first week, I know how to make a crumble. So you're making a fruit crumble, or the topping at least. Take your time with this. Just relax, put some nice music on, whatever choice you wish, and just work it through. And there we go. Like I said, doesn't really take very long. Cleanish palms. So all we need to do now is just sprinkle this all over the top of your cake. I'll just try and get some into the sides. There we go. Go over a little bit. Now that goes into the oven for 40 to 45 minutes till it's cooked. Put a skewer through it, make sure it comes out clean. We're going to go and tidy up. I'll show you a picture of this at the end, But basically, once it comes out of the oven, it's okay. Leave it to cool, and job's a good one. So, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, please hit the notification bell, come and join me on Big OGGIE Golf, and Kelly and I on here on Big OGGIE World. Tell your friends. Come back for part 2, because I'll be making a lovely beef and balsamic vinegar stew. See you soon. One last thing, just to mention on the apple crumble cake, by the way, there it is, still warm, looks lovely. Top it with a little bit of icing sugar. Just a little bit of icing sugar with a sieve. Give it a little dusting of snow. Perfect. Serve it with, well, I would say double cream or ice cream. Clotted cream be good. Custard. It's a dessert, it's a cake, it's a pudding.